From the historic Penn Theater in downtown Butler, it's a Coach's Roundtable. I'm Ed Codi and welcome our guest, Olympia bodybuilder Theresa Ivancik. Theresa, congratulations on your winning the Triple O Dynasty competition that enables you to compete this October in Las Vegas. So tell us about Olympia and clear up maybe there's some confusion between Olympia and Olympics.
So our Olympia is the Olympics because there is no bodybuilding in the Olympics. So they kind of made us have some type of platform where the best of the best compete in the world. And it is kind of considered like our Super Bowl. So only the best bodybuilders in the world can compete at this show. You have to qualify. Now that there's a point system that got taken away, you have to win a pro show. So you only can win, as many pro shows as were offered, through the year. So, winning a show is very hard. So it's an honor to actually be on that stage. A lot will never make it.
So how'd you get started in bodybuilding?
So I was bulimic for 7 years. And I actually was told that if you want to go compete, you got to see this local, gym owner in town. And it was actually my fiance now, Jeff Harlan. And I went to him and he's like, you need to eat, the nutrition needs to be on spot. You need to do this and that. And I ran and I left for 7 years. And I was like, I'm just going to do this on my own. I'm not going to do this. You can't eat and lose weight. Like I was totally against that. And 7 years later, I waited on him at a restaurant and I said, you know what, I'm ready to do this. And then since 2008, he had helped me and we've been together ever since. So it's been about 13 years.
And so what motivates you to do this? What's the energy that keeps you going?
I think the first off, it's going to be like swapping one addiction to another addiction, and having like structure and just seeing the results and seeing how much better you feel. And I mean, it is an image thing, but it's also a mental thing too. So it helps build your confidence and your mental structure as well.
So what's a typical day working out for you? How long do you work out? And what do you do from day to day?
So every morning I get up, do my fasted cardio at 5 a.m, and then we start breakfast. And you're on a clock because you're going to eat every 3 hours. Wow. So you only have 3 hours to decide where you're going to be. Bring all your food with you. Bring your Tupperware with you. And then I usually will eat my breakfast. I'll do some banking and book work, client emails, and then I'll eat my meal too, which is going to be my pre-workout. And I go and train at the gym, and then we'll do our cardio afterward if we need to, and then I'll eat my third meal. And then you wait 3 hours and eat again, and you do that the whole time, every day. It's like Groundhog Day every day, till the end of the day, and you're 6 meals in.
Yeah, and when you say eat, tell us what you eat.
Okay, so right now it's a surplus. It's a lot. So I'm in prep, but I'm not that close to the show. So our food is a lot higher than what we usually have. So I'll do chicken, eggs, oats, and berries for breakfast. And then my pre-workout is about like 200 grams of rice with chicken. My post-workout's a shake and cream of rice with more berries. And then I'll do flank steak, rice, and applesauce. And then it's chicken and rice and green beans. And then it's chicken, egg whites, and spinach.
So why all the rice? That's interesting.
It's a clean carbohydrate. Gets in the system a lot faster. It's not a low glycemic like your oatmeal or your sweet potato. So I'll do the oatmeal in the morning because it is low glycemic. It takes longer to break down. The rice does work for me, but again, each body's different. You have to figure out what kind of carbohydrates are going to make your body tick and work like a machine. So like I said, everybody's different. Some people may be using potatoes, some like sweet potatoes. It's trial and error.
So you do eat mixing carbs, but you have a heavy protein diet.
Yep.
Now, what's a typical protein intake for a day?
For me, about 200 to 240 grams, depending. And right now I'm doing all high carbohydrates on all my training days, and on my rest days, I'm doing 0 carbohydrates and all fat.
So do you consult with a physician? Like I've heard, protein, too much of it is hard on your kidneys. So do you consult with a physician and get tested and make sure everything's okay in that regard?
Yeah, I have a coach, and we go through blood work. And you want to make sure those levels are good too, because you might need to scale back, and you have to use each person as a different canvas whenever you're going to do that. So you don't want to plunge right in and say, oh, that bodybuilder's doing this and they're eating that much protein. You need to kind of back it back down to what, one, your goals are too. You may not want to be as big, so we can tone that down by what the food we eat. So it's just going to be based on 1, goals, 2, blood work, and 3, how your body adapts to it. The body will talk. You have to pay attention to the symptoms.
Now let's look at what you do, the Olympia bodybuilding. That's the same as Arnold Schwarzenegger and Lou Ferrigno competed in, what Arnold won it like 7 straight years or something like that. And you mentioned someone else won even more than that in a row. So the difference between Olympia and Olympics, you're not connected at all, are you?
No, we are not connected with those. I'd love to at some point in time, but we're not, that's not there right now.
So when you won your contest to qualify for the Olympia in Las Vegas, what's the criteria that the judges go by when I mean, I look at you, our audience can see how muscular you are. Appearance versus muscularity and strength. Is strength a factor at all in this?
So for like any bodybuilding, like we talked about, like for my division, I'm the highest as you can go in terms of what you want in terms of muscle density. It starts off with a bikini class, then it moves into wellness, then it goes into figure, and then physique, and then bodybuilding. And each category ends up making it be more enhanced in what you look like. So for bodybuilding, it's balance, symmetry, femininity. It's having dense muscles, but it's also being conditioned too. So it's being able to control where your diet's at and your body fat's at to showcase the best physique you can on stage.
So when you work out, it's important that you're going to look, if this makes sense, you're going to look trim and fit, but muscular at the same time.
Absolutely.
So how when you work out, say a typical Monday, what's the start of the week working out for you? What part of your body do you focus on?
So when I start my week, I take off Wednesdays and Sundays. I like 2 days of rest. Mondays, I'll usually typically do quads. And then Tuesday will be chest and shoulders. Wednesday is my rest day. And then Thursday, I'll do hamstrings and glutes. Friday will be back. And then Saturday will be arms.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. Coaches that I had, the amount of weight that you're lifting is not as important as the form that you're using. So do you go heavy weights or you focus more on reps and form?
So I do a mix of both. I'll do high volume days and I will do a lot heavier weight days, but the weight is controlled weight. So my body basically tells me what's heavy because I'm utilizing the weight, I'm pulling the weight, and I'm pushing the weight. I'm not hoisting it, I'm not yanking it. So wherever my body allows me to tell me that's heavy without having to assist, then that's kind of usually where I'll find, but that's my good weight.
So what would you, can you bench press if you wanted to?
So I actually do not bench press. Everybody thinks that I do, and I don't. Genetically wise, I do have a big enough chest that I don't need to do a lot of chest exercises. I also don't like that movement just because of the elbows, and there's a lot of torn pecs, rotator cuffs, and things like that from there. So there's a lot of other things that you can do to get a better squeeze, out of, that for chest.
So what would you do for upper body, for example?
So for like a chest day, I will do like a cable press, and then a cable fly, and that's it.
Okay, here I want to ask you, since we do so much with athletes, could you train, say, a football player, and then at the same time train a baseball player or a track or volleyball? How you could differentiate the training for each one of them?
Oh, their goals are going to be a lot different. You're going to do a lot more strength training for, football, but then you're going to get into like agility and speed, depending if it's like wrestling, baseball, track, things like that. You want to work on what they need to excel at. And most of it, like a track runner, is going to be speed. We can't really make them muscle bound because muscle does weigh more. And then that kind of like tapers them down because they don't have that fast agility. You want those fast twitch muscle groups instead of like that hard density muscle that you're going to use as a football player.
So what's the biggest misconception about what you do that you want people to understand?
Bodybuilding in general and eating food will not make you big and will not make you fat. I think a lot of people think that as soon as you touch a weight as a female, you won't be able to, you just gain too much muscle too quickly.
If you don't mind, I'd like you to stand and let everyone see the work that you put in to compete in these contests. I mean, you could see your upper body built and just part of your competition and what you do. Yes. Well, Theresa, I want to thank you for coming on, and I wish you the best of luck at the Olympia in October. It's been a pleasure having you on.
Thank you so much for having me. I love it.
You're welcome. I'll be right back with Alan George.
Got a water leak? Got a clogged drain? Got a remodeling project going? Call the pros at Armstrong Comfort. We can stop that leak, unclog that drain, and install your new fixtures. There is no plumbing problem we can't fix. Our technicians have the latest training and state-of-the-art tools to complete your job correctly the first time. Call Armstrong Comfort for all your heating, cooling, and plumbing needs, or request an appointment online at armstrongcomfort.com.
Let's look at Spotlight College Men's Volleyball, UCLA. Why am I talking about UCLA? Because for the second straight year, Seneca Valley grad Sean McDonough, a sophomore serving specialist and libero, has helped the Bruins to a second straight NCAA championship with a 3-1 win over Long Beach State. UCLA finished 25-6. And what we remember about Sean when he played at Seneca Valley, he wasn't big, but he was dynamic, all WPIL, all state. And those two games that we did, the one where Seneca Valley was at NA, we did, and then the championship game at Robert Morris, just great sport activities that we broadcast here. Maybe two of the best sporting events we've ever done here. And maybe Matt can show that championship match again between Seneca Valley and North Allegheny. Let's look at high school track. Interesting what's going on there. Butler boys defeated North Allegheny, Penn Trafford, and Norwin to win an 11th WPL title. Senior star and Notre Dame recruit Drew Griffith, he won the 3200, he won the 1600, he won the 800, and he anchored the winning 4x800 relay team. 4 events. What an effort. And teammate Orion McBride Cager, he won the high jump and the long jump. Next, coming up, the individuals and the states.
Yeah, when you get to the team championships, you'll notice that kids take on new events, more events to try to win the championship. And I always give a tribute out to kids that don't say, "I don't want to run that. I've not done it all year." No, I want to run that to help the team win. That's awesome.
And just the endurance factor for Drew in all those events.
When you talk about him, in my mind, I get a picture of just how far behind he'd have to be that you could beat him. Because if he gets it anywhere near your anchor, he's winning.
It is amazing what he's done this year, not only in Western Pennsylvania, throughout the state, throughout the country, what he's done in both cross country and track. Moving on to the girls, the NA girls won their 3rd straight WPL title and the 14th overall in school history, defeating North Catholic, a tough match with Norwin winning 78-72 and over Mount Lebanon 81-69. They swept the shot put 1, 2, and 3, and they won a total of 6 events. North Catholic finished 4th. The 4x800 relay team for the 2nd straight week broke the school record, their own school record. This one with a time of 9:28:32. Pretty good, Albert?
Yeah, this time of year, real good. This time of year is when you'll see records broke because they're tailoring their workouts to be the best for team and heading to the state championship.
I'm going to mention those girls: Gracie Plastino, Grace Lazara, Sydney Dunn, and Madeline Miup for their efforts. Outstanding achievement there. The Knock girls placed the 3rd in 2A. Ava Santora won the 1600 and 3200. She's a TCU recruit. They'll find you anywhere in the country, won't they?
If you're good, they'll
find you. And Carly Butterball, she won the javelin. Kara Fennell, she tied for 1st in a pole vault with a school record of 11 feet 2 inches. High school baseball. How about this kid? 1 week we have him on Spotlight for track. Next week it's for baseball. Sal Mineo, Slippery Rock High School. He pitched a no-hitter in a 3-1 win over Titusville. He had 9 Ks. Luke Whitfield of Freeport was 3 for 3. Troy Nagel of Karn City, 3 hits, 3 RBI. Mason Sherwin of Karn City, 3 RBI. Pitcher Tony Shoffley, North Catholic, 10 Ks and a 10-0 shutout win over Butler. Owen Beatrice of North Catholic, 3 RBI. And Sean Morgan of Knock, he had a home run, 3 RBI, and 11-1 win over Burrell. In softball, McKenna Braley of Knock, 4 RBI. Elena Techley of Knock, 3 hits. Marley Frazier of Knock, 3 hits, all in an 11-0 win over Deer Lakes. Knock has a really good team. Pitcher Sydney Selker of Freeport, she had 10 Ks. Leah Clark of Freeport, she had 4 hits. Lexi Hames, Seneca Valley, she's healthy again in terms of pitching, but in this game she had 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, and a 13-2 win over Butler. I'm guessing she has double figures in home runs this year because I mentioned number of games.
Many
she's had
times.
multiple home runs. Cara Pasquale, Seneca Valley, she had 3 hits and 3 RBIs in the win, and Abby Kalkowski had 3 RBI. Kelsey Ogen of Butler, she had 10 Ks in a losing effort to Baldwin. And in high school boys volleyball, Butler defeated Seneca Valley 3-2. It was a big win for Butler because it gives them a bye in the playoffs. Seneca Valley won the first match 3-0. Colton Welter of Butler at 14 kills, and Mason McCall 25 assists to pace the win. So Seneca Valley's in the playoffs. They're 12-6. NA 11-1. They have a bye along with Shaler. They were tied for first, and Shaler's the defending champs WPIL.
In the track and field, I'm pretty positive LSC took 3rd as a team. So congratulations to the Wolverines also.
And let's go now to our stories of the week. Major League Baseball future Yankee pitcher Paul Skeens. He debuted at PNC Park versus Chicago Cubs. You tell me what you think, you guys. He went 4 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 7 Ks, 84 pitches, 6.75 ERA. He was pulled in the 5th when Derek Shelton came charging out to the mound, clapping in a celebratory fashion, the infamous pitch count, and removed him with a 6-1 lead. Looked like he's going to coast to get his first major league win. Not so fast. The Pirate bullpen faltered. This Pirate bullpen was good this year like it was last year. Pirates might be in first place, but they have crumbled along the way. Ended up 6-6. They had that 2-hour storm delay. The Pirates came back and won 10-8. They hit 6 home runs in the game. They've been on a streak. Their last 3 games, they've hit 11 home runs.
Well, Skeens is big time. You can see the stuff he has out there. It's just a struggle with me in the starting pitching of today's world. That if they go 5 or 6 innings, they've done well. And
Mission accomplished.
That's tough.
Right?
That's tough.
He's hogging him.
That's tough for me because
I've
he's
never
really
seen,
good.
I've never seen a manager come out clapping like that. And this is my opinion. You should just come out, shake his hand, take the ball, let him go. The game's not over yet. You got a long way.
It was one of those special
go.
games with biggest crowd and people coming out to see him. But
What do you have, 15 pitches over 100?
But he's the real deal.
84 pitches.
Yeah, he's
He
the
threw
real deal.
15 over 100.
Yeah. No question. He's a big time. I mean, they got a big time stay. I said they'd be good in 2025. There's no doubt. They have to hit the ball.
hitters.
They have to hit the ball.
Well, we're going to talk about that. So you look at what they have. Keller had another strong outing against Milwaukee last night, even though the Pirates bullpen blew a 5-run lead.
Yeah.
But he had 12 Ks in that game. Reynolds was 5 for 5, a home run, 2 doubles. So if you look at the rotation where you'd have Jones, Keller, and Skeens, this is the start of something
Nobody's
big.
better. Yeah, nobody's better.
It's the start of something big.
Yes.
If they'll spend money, as we said last week, their 29th payroll, you need to go out and get some hitters in that regard. So we'll see what happens. Good start for Skeens, but I don't want to get overexcited because remember, Henry Davis, he's number 1 back in the minors. Remember, Chris Benson come up with all that hoopla, number 1 pick out of Clemson, and he didn't pan out for the Pirates. So let's see where this goes.
This is a no-brainer unless he gets hurt. I mean, he's his stuff and is major league better than major league. So he's like Benson was just a decent pitcher. This guy's big time.
He's strong.
Big time. Just a big time pitcher.
No, he's going to be part of a 6-man rotation. I don't get it.
Nothing we get in baseball.
Once every 6 days, he's going to pitch.
Yeah, we hate it.
And he's going to throw 5 innings.
That makes you shorten the bullpen already.
Yeah.
It's a bullpen-driven game. I mean, the game of baseball is
Why would you short it then?
Totally driven because they don't want to hurt his arms.
I'm like, may I use the dirty word analytics?
How many pitches did he throw at LSU? 100?
I know.
Lots of time. He threw one game. He threw 120
I
sometimes.
think so.
But they put all that money into that arm, and they're going to protect it like you.
Hey, the Yankees are happy. Dodgers are glad.
Yeah, you're right. Now, last week we talked about the demise of starting pitchers going to distance and so forth. Look at Major League Baseball hitting. It's at one of its lowest points. And I'm saying this after the Pirates exploded their last 3 games with 11 home runs. They looked like the 27 or 60 Yankees. But The Major League Baseball average is only 240. It's the lowest since 1968. On an average game, 17 batters strike out. In 15 games over the weekend of May the 10th, 247 batters struck out in 15 games. That's right around that average of 17 a game. San Diego and the Dodgers, 24 batters struck out in that game.
Here's the question, though. We don't think it's not the pitching.
No, not at all.
No.
Like, we're not sitting here thinking, wow, is that pitching? It's that on the knob from the heels thing.
That's a great point you make, because Kevin Young, former Pirate first baseman, said these guys are being trained in batting cages to elevate the ball, to undercut it through analytics, and guys, he said, who never played the game. He says, then you get in a game and a guy throws you that sinker breaking ball and you're swinging underneath it. You're missing it. So to mark his point, in a Pirate game, I heard the announcer say, that ball was 180 feet in the air. What? What's that have to do with anything?
Well, they constantly talk about velocity off the bat.
Yeah.
And I just know that the kid from San Diego has the slowest swing in baseball. Stanton has the fast. One's hitting 180, the other's hitting 330. So please talk
you're
that
right.
velocity and angle. And I don't want to hear, does he hit or doesn't he hit?
Yeah.
That's all I want to know.
And Young made a good point. They don't teach these guys to hit the all fields anymore, like a
Well, that's
Campman
out.
or
That's
Wade
out.
Boggs. They'd spray the ball all over the place. So let's just look in comparison. Cruz has struck out already, over 50 times this year.
He'll strike out 200
yeah.
sometimes.
So in 1941, the year in which he hit in 56 straight games, Joe DiMaggio struck out 13 times. He struck out 3 times his 15-year career once. And
Once that's at that time, once again, and that's who we are. We're older guys. We believe in putting the ball in play. Analytics says today we want pitch count and home runs. That's all. That's all they count.
how many
Get the pitcher out of the game and hit home runs. That's all they care
how
about.
many home runs Hank Aaron hit?
Never hit 50.
And he never struck out 100 times in a season. The most times that Ted Williams ever struck out in a year was 64. The year he hit 406, he struck out I think 24 or 27 times. Take that Kyle Sherbert last year, 47 homers, 104 RBIs, 115 hits, and he struck out 215 times.
And he's a leadoff hitter.
And Yogi Berra, 1950, 28 home runs, 124 RBIs, 192 hits. He batted 656 times, struck out 12 times.
Yeah, we could. This is a dead horse, Eddie. The three
I know,
guys.
but we have to beat it.
But I'm saying us 3 guys believe
It just
that. And here's what I'll say, and we said it before, fans. If a guy's hitting 330,
Stay off.
you don't say a word to him. Let him hit and strike out 300 times.
Yeah.
But the guys we're talking about are hitting 180,
170.
and they
That's at
won't
least
change.
weighs more than
Okay.
he hit in
And they
his
won't
batting
change.
average.
and the point you make is valid, because I don't know how the Pirates have won 19 games. Their team batting average is 220.
Because the rest of the teams they're playing have the same batting
Yeah,
average.
Same
You know,
220.
they're not the worst batting average.
Right. Well,
But there's Eddie 240's the
3 100 hitters.
average.
Hey,
Yeah.
3 100 hitters.
Hey, I was telling someone the other day. I said, I remember when Mazeroski would hit 260 and Bird 265.
They made fun
and they
of
were
him.
crucified. Get him out of the lineup. You got Clemente hitting 320, Skinner hitting 290, Grode hitting 300.
they made fun
and
of
these
him.
guys are only hitting 260.
But you know, somebody walking that door right now in this beautiful theater and say, "What are you talking about batting average for?" Doesn't mean
They don't use it.
they don't even use it in their thoughts.
How about this? I was stunned to read this. This is from Gene Collier, Post-Gazette, May 12th. 1960, for the first time in Major League Baseball history, 10,000 batters struck out during the season. This year, for the 3rd year in a row, 40,000 batters will strike out.
Yeah.
And they're happy.
40,000.
They're happy.
There's no shame in striking out. Put it that way.
No,
No, don't say it's a good at bat. I'll think of that.
He fouled off 5
Yeah, he
pitches.
fouled 5 pitches and struck out.
Yeah.
What a great at bat he had. My dad would have come to the dog and said, "Go, get up on the hill. You just struck out again. Get out of here."
If you're Skeens and Keller and you're taking a mound and you see the Pirate lineup, okay, McCutcheon 175, Sawinski 171, Tellez 194, Triolo 210, Grandal 154, Reynolds until last night was hitting 240. You'd say, I can't win. How am I going?
Can't give up 3 runs.
And I say hitting coach. What hitting coach?
But there is no hitting coaches because they all swing the same way.
No.
They-
Beershire was a hitting coach back in the day.
Beershire said they're having fun.
We're having fun. 4 games under 500.
Oh, well, we rant, but we
I love
can't.
the rant. I love the rant.
We have to do it. Hey, the NFL, Steelers rookie camp, who's looking good? Peyton Wilson, you like him. He's been very impressive, and it's possible they're going to have 2 rookie starters in the offensive line. I think Zach Frazier is a fix at center where they can fit in.
They should have 2 starters.
Yeah.
They should. They're number high picks. Number 1 and number 3.
Faulutano.
Yes.
Either he's going to be at right tackle or possibly at a guard spot, so they both can sign. Now, what's not so good, here's their wide receiver signings. Van Jefferson, Denzel Mims, Quez Watkins, if I got that name right, Scotty Miller. You excited? Combined, last season, the 4 of them caught 57 passes.
Mims is really talented. We'll see what they get.
They average
Let's see
14
what talent they get
catches a
out of
year.
him. And Miller has excellent speed. But once again, it comes down to the offensive line. Like you said, that's what it comes down to.
And looking at some interesting long shots, Phil Jakovic, Pine Richmond, is invite. He's a tight end now, 6'5", 245. When you're an invite, you hope to get invited back to the camp. If you can make the practice squad, you're getting $12,000 a week for 17 weeks. It's a pretty good gig.
Yeah, as George says, he'd be the richest guy on our block.
That's what we are.
Yeah.
They said, oh, he's only making such and such. He'd be the richest guy in Bell Avenue.
And the other long shot is a quarterback, John Plumlee, played at Ole Miss at Central Florida.
Try him at wide receiver. He has a tremendous speed.
See, that's my major concern. I'm not excited about these free agents signing. I think it's to fill a void. You need more receivers, but there's not one of them that really stands out. You mentioned potential, but they've had that with what's his name?
That's the word potential.
That's a guy the last 2 years they talk about his 4.2 speed. He can't get on the field.
No.
4.2.
Now, here's major makeover, what I like, Tennessee Titans. They signed Tyler Boyd to go along with wide receiver Calvin Ridley and running back Tony Pollard.
See, I think the 4 receivers you mentioned with the Steelers are just as good as Boyd.
Don't.
Boyd's he's a slot receiver.
He's a slot receiver.
That catches 8-yard passes. I mean, you need big-time people around him.
But the fact
he's not
is,
number 1 receiver.
he catches 55 or 60 a year. And I don't
He was
see
with
that kind
Burrows.
of production.
He was with Burrows.
Well, that's it for us. We've run out of time. Thanks for joining us here at the historic Penn Theater in downtown Butler.
Things change. One thing you can count on is that Armstrong always will be Armstrong. We've stood by our name, from our humble beginnings in 1946 through the millions spent expanding fiber broadband in our communities. We've never changed our name to run from our reputation. We've established trust by simply putting our people, customers, and services first. It's a practice that holds true and will continue at Armstrong.